peace. I want to talk to you about meditation as the way of peace, the way to peace. Just listen to these words of St. Paul. Your world was a world without hope and without God. But now, in union with Christ Jesus, you who once were far off have been brought near through the shedding of Christ's blood. For he himself is our peace. In the New Testament, this peace is the greatest quality that we can possess. It's beyond understanding. But for us to be able to enter into this peace, we must enter into the experience of meditation itself. One of the great problems in talking about meditation is that very often people who listen to one's talk have no experience of what one is talking about. And as a result, fail completely to understand what meditation really summons us to. The Christian tradition and the Christian mystery summons each of us to infinite riches. Every one of us. The real thing to understand about Jesus is that he is the universal Redeemer. And every one of us, if only we can realize it, are redeemed, that is, made free from all our chains of fear, of guilt. And we are made free in the depth of our spirit. Peace is not a static quality. Peace is full vitality. It's the sense of joyous well-being that comes to us when we find ourselves to be truly harmonious. Every part of our being in harmony. And what you can discover by persevering in meditation is that it's not just that our life has found its own inner coherence. That is, of course, a necessary first step for each one of us. But it's something even greater than that. And this is what everyone is summoned to. If only we can undertake the discipline to come to it. Because in meditation we find our own inner resonance in God. And I think what we have to say to you as monks is that no one must be content to live their life just at 10% of their potential. Each of us must live at 100% of our potential. And we must enter into that profound inner resonance in God. It's not just that we're called to be resonant with God, but in Him. This is our call. This is our destiny. To find peace beyond ourselves in God. The great temptation for us as moderns is to think of peace as a state that can be induced. Our culture tells us that we can induce any emotional state we like by chemical means or by an act of the will. But peace understood in its spiritual significance, in its spiritual sense, is not something that can be induced, but it's something we must enter into. It's not something that any of us can command by exercising one or more of our faculties. But it's something that depends on a total correspondence between all our faculties, all our potentialities. As you know yourselves, the peace that we want to see in the world is not something that can be imposed by force. You can force a person to put down his gun if you have more or bigger guns. But you can't force anyone to be peaceful. And we ourselves can know no peace if we do not ourselves exercise this same gentleness, this same peacefulness ourselves. If you force your adversary at the point of a gun to be peaceful, you'll always live in fear that he may become stronger than you, may develop some new secret weapon. The only thing that can create peace in our world is the power of peace found, known, and experienced in human hearts. And this peace, once we know it ourselves as the very basis and foundation of our being, this peace is invincible, and it is stronger than any violence, and stronger than any fear, because peace is creative. It is patient. It knows how to suffer. Whereas violence is impatient and destructive. Now these truths we must all know from our own personal experience. We cannot find peace within ourselves by using any sort of violence against ourselves. We don't run off our fears, our self-rejection, our anxieties, our repressions, our insecurities by any sort of violence. We come to fullness of life by drinking deep at the fountain of life. And that fountain of life is to be found springing up in our own hearts. And the fountain of life is a fountain of love. And the great message of Jesus to each one of us is that we must love our neighbor as we love ourselves. We must love our enemies as we love ourselves. And in the Christian vision, this peace is not just a state of being. It is a person, Jesus Christ. He himself is our peace. Just as love in the Christian vision is not just a feeling or an emotion, it is a person. God is love. And the invitation in meditation is to enter into God, to become one with Him in your own heart. Not trying to possess Him, not trying to command Him to do what you want Him to do. Something much greater than that. Becoming one with Him, and in the process becoming fully yourself. Now let me remind you again of the importance of the discipline itself. When we meditate in a few minutes, sit still. I couldn't stress to you enough how important that is, to sit still. It's the first step away from egoism, from concern with ourselves, our own bodies. Sit still. And then, closing your eyes gently, say your mantra, your word. Don't think about it. Don't think about yourself. Don't think about what progress you're making. Say the word as selflessly as you can. Maranatha. And continue to say it. And as you do so, you enter into, descend into, areas of simplicity in yourself that you hardly suspected were there. Areas of humility in yourself that you'd forgotten were there. Your capacity to be childlike, to be trusting, and to leave all demands, all desire behind. And continue to say your word for the whole time of the meditation. Return to it if you let it go. Don't bother about distractions. Just keep saying your word. To learn to meditate, all that is necessary is that you return to this experience each day of your life, every morning and every evening. There are no shortcuts. There's no instant mysticism. But there is for each one of us the infinite love of God welling up in our own hearts. And that is more than sufficient. Listen to St. Paul again. So he came and proclaimed the good news, peace to you who are far off, and peace to those who are nearby. For through him we both alike have access to the Father in the one Spirit. That's why we meditate. Because we have access to the Father, to our Father, in the one Spirit. Remember the word, Maranatha.